Hello again, this is Reggie Time with another 25NL Unibet video. Again, there's not going to be a ton of talking between hands. If there's not much going on, I'm not going to be particularly vocal. It's hard to do any other kind of video from this site because the hand replay is just shit and you can't get all the hands you want. It's pretty random on which hand it lets you do, so you can't do hand reviews. I'm too lazy to continue just input hands into hand replayers manually, so this is the way we're going to do it basically. If you enjoy my content in general and enjoy the videos, want to see more of them, the thing that encouraged me most is likes and comments. So we get lots of likes and comments, then it inspires me to think, yeah, people are enjoying what I'm doing. I don't get too many views, but if we get plenty of likes on the number of views we get, then I find it pretty encouraging. I'm just going to bet this river because I think he's going to check back way too often. 6 jack, eh? So yeah, we like likes, we like comments. So please get involved. I'm not sure it's going to be the longest video I've ever made. We're starting this at 11:30 on a Saturday night, but the pool isn't that big already. If it shrinks much more, then we won't really have much going on. There's only 39 players in the pool, so if that drops much lower, there's a good chance that there won't be much of a video. I'm going to call with the 4s and the flush draw on table 2. Do I want to bluff this river? That is the question. Don't think we have the best hand very often. Don't think he has a straight very often though. I think he surely bets a straight on the river. Maybe you get off one pair there. Pair of 8s, pair of 7s, something like that. We've only just started the session, never mind the video. But my image on table 2 won't be that good. We've isolated this player twice already, 3-betting once, and we've not made it to showdown yet. So my image won't be fantastic. But I don't mind that because I'm a tight player, so if I can ever have a bad image knowing that I'm tight, I'm usually quite pleased to be in that situation. I'm not pleased because it means I've probably not been running great, but I'm pleased to have a false image. You're a shit. What a thoroughly creative screen name that is. I'd love to be stuck in a lift with that guy for an hour or two. I bet it'd be an absolute barrel of laughs, fountain of knowledge, and anecdotally excellent. I'm not that keen on playing 3-handed at table 4, but I'm going to presume that You're a Shit is actually relatively shit himself, given he's got such a crap screen name. And see how it progresses. just going to barrel off now on table 4. Now we've hit the open ender. Wow, he was a bit scared to bet there, wasn't he? Not a fan of his flop bet. Or was it a turn bet? I can't remember. But anyways, he should really be value betting that river there. It's such a small pot. He's got this bulking roll at 3 tables. So we're going to treat him like a regular. Not too impressed with his play of the King Jack previously, so we'll keep our eye on him, see if we can't pick up some early reads. It's out on this board. We don't really have much going on, so we'll let it go and we'll keep our eye out for him leading in future on how often he does it and what kind of board texture he typically does it on. Bulking roll seems like he does an awful lot of min betting, min raising pre-flop. Table 3, I'd like to alert you to a flop nuts. I'll be in a limped pot, but nevertheless, we'll take it. Flop nuts with a redraw to the super nuts. These games haven't been at all aggressive so far, so we're not going to be checking in a limp pot to try and induce. We're just going to start trying to build a pot. Could have even overbet there, I think. Could even have considered overbetting. $1.20, €1.25 or something. 7.5 now gets there, but if someone's got that, then hats off to them. No reason to slow down. On this turn we got called in 2 spots on the flop. There's all kinds of 2 pairs, flush draws, sets can be out there. Tons of value to be had. Get raised, I guess we're just going to call and then evaluate on the river. We just get the fold though, which isn't ideal, but whatever. I think we're going to get rid of table 4, but not before we've opened another one. Table 4 is just not good. As soon as the new table populates, we'll close table 4 and we'll get on with it. Min 3 bet on table 2, we flop top pair. We're going to kick it off by calling if he bets. He does bet. It's quite a big bet, but clearly we can't fold, so we're not going to. Check back this turn for sure. Bring this table into play because table 4 is going to be going any second now. And then he checks the river 2. I'm going to go for some value, fold to a raise here. Maybe get called by pocket 10s or something, who knows? Maybe ace king decides to be a hero. I'm going to keep stealing quite wide whilst nobody appears to be playing back. 4-9 wouldn't always be my opening range, but there doesn't appear to be a great deal of aggressive regulars at the table, or just aggressive players at the table right now that are going to punish me for it. I think we're going to 3-bet the 5-3 suited here. We could just call, I guess, yeah, given the stack size of Rinky. And we'll just call against Bulking Roll, who looks like he's opened almost every button so far. We're going to 3-bet. We're going to call this check raise and hope for a red one. We do not get a red one. We do get a open and straight draw though, down on table 3. And we're just going to fold on table 2. First time Bulking Roll's been aggressive with us so far. Just going to give him credit for actually having a hand. That should have been an open. I wasn't really concentrating there. Jack 9 off. Trivial open on the button. So, may as well mention it now before someone asks me why I didn't open it. I'm going to get out my line with this Bulking Roll a few times, see what happens. Obviously, he doesn't know it's me because we're different players at every table, which does show the disadvantage if you are playing on Unibet. If you're a Unibet player, does show the disadvantage of using the same screen name at every table. I've talked about it before. The only reason I can think anyone will want to do it is if they're using some kind of tracking software, so they can track their hands, track their results, whatever. You're not allowed to use tracking software on Unibet, but there is software that can be used, and I've no doubt some players are using it. Again, this guy min 3-bets. I thought it could have been a misclick last time, but he's done it again, so it probably isn't a misclick. It's probably just his strategy. Trivial check back with the second pair. I'm going to call here with the pair and a gut shot if he leads. He leads to a pot though, which is quite irritating. So I think now we'll just fold. If he'd have made that, like, I don't know, $1.20 or something, €1.20, probably would have peeled, but not when he makes it full pot. Again, another min 3-bet. Let's hope for some green. That's green. I'm going to check raise here and fold if he 3-bets, which does feel a little bit like we're going to be burning some equity. But we might just get him off a hand like pocket queens, ace queen, that type of thing. He calls. And I think I'm going to give up here against this player type, who I think might not even fold a jack. Yeah, we're just going to give up now. It is tempting to turn R7 into a bluff this river, but I just do not expect this player to fold pocket queens, jack X. It's sure if he shows up with a hand like pocket 10s or pocket 9s or something, but stick with the give up pocket 10s, never mind. led into here on this board. 2 overs, 2 backdoors. And raise rather than just go with a standard float. Get 3-bet, we don't care, we're just going to fold our hand and make a mental note that he clearly donks when he's strong. If he called, we could barrel off on a number of turns. Oh. So, happy with the raise. Didn't work out, never mind, that's 2 bluffs we've gone for now that haven't worked, but really isn't much of a big deal. I don't really mind when bluffs don't work. It's one of those things. I mean, they work often enough to make it profitable, and when they don't, well, at least you get a little bit of shit image. So there's no real downside to it as long as you're doing it with like reasonable hands in reasonable spots. It's really not a problem. It's not. You don't want to get too disheartened if your bluffs aren't working. Just have a look and think, why aren't they working? Am I choosing bad spots to do it in, or am I choosing hands that don't give me, barrel opportunities to like continue the bluff on some streets? Because sometimes the one street of a bluff isn't enough. That's why we like to choose hands that can back into equity, or hands that already have equity, to give us the confidence to fire multiple streets. If you're bluffing usually consists of like the weakest parts of your range that have no equity when called, then you're not going to have a very good bluffing strategy. You need to have that little escape route now and again. When your bluffs go wrong, now and again you just back into something, or back into a made hand, or you hit some equity on the turn that allows you to remain aggressive. Actually, I would normally 3-bet me suited gappers on the button. But I don't mind playing pots with res in the big blind. Call a turn if he leads. Could bet small just to make sure we don't give any free cards to, like, if he's got a hand like King Jack or something like that. King Queen seems less likely. I'm not a huge fan of this bet, and that's not a good river. We're just going to give up now. King Queen probably won't fold if we bet. Queen Jack's just got there. Flush has just got there. Ace X isn't going to fold if he's been a bit weird with that. Ace Jack. Interesting. This is usually a fold, or sometimes a loose call for me on the button 7-10 suited. We're going to make the loose call this time because of cheesecake in the big blind. There's 2 regulars behind me. I would usually lean to folding it. C-bets, pair and backdoors. Pretty mandatory call on the flop. Turn the gut shot. I'm going to call again if he bets, and then look to bluff heart rivers. Obviously make the best hand with a 7 usually, with a 9 pretty much always. I'm going to call again and get there sometimes and get some good bluffing cards some other times. Bluff on a red one. That isn't a red one. That's a bad river for bluffing on, really. We could overbet here. Try and put tons of pressure on King X. Doubt he's got a set or 2 pair, but I don't think this board slows down those types of hands. So do we bluff to try and make a king fold? Or do we think we have enough showdown value? He's not really sure what value hand I would play this way, so let me just check. Maybe a little bit weak there. Could have bluffed maybe. It's one of those situations where you'd rather not have. If I had that bottom pair there or some 3rd pair, I'd bluff in a hand. I wouldn't even think about not bluffing, but because we have second pair, like, you know, not that it makes too much difference. It just creates the illusion that you've got that extra bit more showdown value. Who knows, maybe you just never fold a king. You know, we make it like 12.12 euros or something, maybe still never fold a king. Open, small 3-bet, it's going to muck the ace-jack. And important when you have these sessions when nothing goes right for you, everything that you do kind of doesn't work out. I think like maybe you could have bluffed and got away with one, or maybe this or that or the other, the little things that go wrong. It's important that you don't lose your rag and you just continue doing your thing. I'm just going to jam here and stack it and just get it in and hope it's okay. Well, that's not a bad flop. We'll take it. We'll take that flop. Six well suited raisins. Someone's just been stacked. I think not. I think our sevens. Well, sorry, we got a straight. About to say, I think my sevens are good here. I'm going to go pretty big, try and represent miss flushes. Hope he looks us up with who knows what. Yes, that's what I've talked about in previous videos, but who knows how many of you guys have watched my previous videos. Staying off tilt is, and just sticking to your strategy and remaining composed and level-headed is, in my opinion, one of the key skills of poker. That mastering that skill is way more important than mastering 3-bet, 4-bet, 5-bet in ranges. And a lot of people come to me for help. They want to talk about all those things, and then we'll look at some hands that they played and they'll send me the database, we'll look through them and like, what happened there? Or tilted, what happened there? Or that was tilt, what happened there? Or this, that and the other. And they're wanting to talk about all these super like technical, mathematical based things when they haven't even got control of the basic emotions. And you really do. You have to have incredible self-control if you want to make it in poker. You can't do it if you've got tilt issues. You should make that an absolute priority to deal with. Before anything else, you have to deal with your tilt. And sometimes dealing with your tilt, it's born out of a lack of knowledge. So maybe dealing with your tilt includes learning to play better in certain situations. Not just a matter of I shouldn't tilt. It's not. We're not talking about learning to be zen or anything weird and kooky like that. Because sometimes, a lot of the time, dealing with your tilt is actually just dealing with situations better at the table that you're not used to. I don't know what to do here, so I just fucking tilt. Or I did something, I don't know if it's a mistake or not, so I tilted. So a lot of the times, improving your mental game actually starts by improving your technical game. But you do need to have absolute full control over your emotions. You have no chance. You're just going to go broke constantly. Want to win another flip. Not looking so good this time. Never mind. That's poker. We don't mind losing the flips to the shorties and winning the flips against the big stacks. We'll take that. We're going to see about our 10-9 here just one time. Unless we get a jack or a club or something on the turn. No fizzy pop tonight. We're back on the healthy stuff. We're back on the sugar-free cordial. We've had our week of excess for the wife's birthday, and now we're back to reasonably healthy consumption of food and drink stuff. think we're going to get rid of table 3 in a moment. And in fact, we are going to get rid of table 3. Because it is rubbish. I've got another table to bring in. Table 4 will become table 3, and the new table will become table 4. In case you're getting confused, try to follow the action. If there's a player on table 4 you've been keeping your eye on, it's about to become table 3. We were going to keep table 1, even if it stays 3-handed because of Yano, though. We won't be leaving till Yano does his limping buttons. He hasn't got a full stack, but he has got 19 euros, which I'd quite like to become the proud owner of. Not c-betting the queen 10 with 0 equity if we're called. If he checks again, we'll probably just bet turn and river. I think he leads a king pretty much always on the turn after we check back. Maybe even leads like pocket 9, stuff like that, so we'll just bet twice. No reason to. Now this table's going to disappear. We're going to bring this one in. Oops. We're going to... Come on, Richie, what are you doing in my bed? There we go. Lobby numbers appear to be holding up. Tables are coming and going, but they appear to be holding up, and they don't appear to be an excessive amount of regulars. So this might end up being a relatively long video. We're going to keep recording until the end of the session. So yeah, hopefully it's a long and profitable video. It might be a long and unprofitable video, who knows, but hopefully it's a long one at least. And then we'll go from there. We'll take what comes after that. Giant line's close between betting and checking. Start by betting, I think. But I wouldn't be against checking there either. Queen 10. Close to the bottom of my cut-off opening range. Check back the A6. Do quite a lot of like delayed c-betting because I think lots and lots of players, they just, if they've got a hand on the turn after a flop check, so they tend to just go ahead and bet it. So I do a lot of delayed c-betting until I find someone who is still like checking pretty strong hands on the turn, then I shall stop doing it against them. Pretty standard check call on the flop there with the jack queen. We'll be calling this turn 2 with a flush draw. And we're going to be leading the river and hoping he has a 2-pair type hand. If he raises small, we'll just sigh and call. If he raises big, we'll let it go. I don't think many players have the bluff raise in them for a big size on these board textures. Don't think enough guys have it in them to warrant paying off. Some guys might put the small raise in, just fucking around, but not many will put a big raise in. So there might be an isolation here going from Bill here, or whatever it is. Nope, there wasn't one. Second pair and a good shot. Going to lead here for value. Don't expect Bill to have too many kings, like king 5 off and this kind of stuff like that, I guess, but he does his min raise thing. We're clearly going to call, hope for a 10 or a jack. Check back the 9s. We're going to call this turn. Just make a very small value bet here. Try and get paid by pocket 6s, ace 4, some flush draws, good shots, straight draws, that type of thing. Turn completely bricks on table 2, so we're going to just give up. And we're going to check back this river and just hope to beat 6-7 or something like that. 7 ace. Well, there you go. Again, we could sometimes 3-bet here, but we want to keep the fish in the pot in the big blind. Certainly going to raise to isolate on table 3, and we're going to let the 10-8 suited go from the small blind reluctantly because it's a pretty hand. But from the small blind versus bull king rolls, early position open. And we can let it go. C-bet the queen 9 suited here. We can barrel on a 10 on a red one. Queen, king, ace. Well, maybe not barrel a queen, but improve on a queen. We can barrel on a king or an ace. Not fond on paying bull king roll off. If he bets the river, we're just going to fold, I think. Get check raised here on this dry board, which typically reeks of bullshit, but we just don't really have enough to. I wouldn't fold a jack here versus this race, for example. I think bull king can just have like an ace queen or something here that he's very scared with, so he's going to check back. Oh, pocket 3s, which doesn't make a whole load of sense, but whatever. So we've got this silly small donk bet that we may or may not raise against, depending on what Snufkin does. We're certainly not folding, we're getting ridiculous odds to draw. Yeah, we're just going to take our odds. See a turn card, I think. Be watching this hand carefully if he gets to showdown, because this never looks to me like he's got some kind of 7 or something. Or a weak 9. We're out though. We're out of this pot. I'm going to hope to see a showdown. Didn't want to see the raise there because it means we're almost certainly not going to see Never's cards. He like donks and then snap reloads, so strange. A 3-bet the ace 10 for thin value. Table 1. Snufkin looks like he might be a fun player. And try and get heads up against him as often as possible. Given I just said Snufkins might be a fun player, I'm not delighted to be opening 8-7 off on the button, put it that way. It's an open, but I'm less happy to do it against fun players, or players that I think might be fun players, fish, for want of a better word, than I am against regulars. I'm not going to see bet my good shot on this board texture. I get floated way too often. I just like 2 overpads where you don't know where you are in the hand, or flush draw. I mean, who knows? There's not that much going on for us. We have 2 overs and a gut shot. And we have a flush draw now to go with our gut shot. Doubt our flush draw is going to be good too often when Snuff King calls. It's safe to say if it wasn't for the winning the flip with the Ace King versus the Queen, this wouldn't have been the most successful session in the world up to now. I think it would definitely have been down a buying. It doesn't feel like much else has gone our way so far. And that's not a gripe, by the way. It's just an observation. What on earth are you doing, Snuffers? Oh, tournament, son. Obviously, he's trying to make me fold because he's happy to play for his €8 against Berlin or whatever. But when I do have a hand there, if he's just trying to get me out of the pot with, who knows, pocket 9 or something like that, then he's screwing up. And again, I don't know what I should do with the pocket 6s there, but calling €8, not closing the action, seems not great to me. But we'll happily see Berlin or Balin, whatever it is. We'll take him doubling up. We're going to tighten up a little bit on this table. It looks like these guys are ready to gamble, and we don't want to be giving too much to them before we try and win some of it back. And try limping into Berlin here. He's going to dump his money on someone. There's a 2-to-1 chance it's going to be us, so let's hope. Donked into here, we have top pair in a straight draw. We're not folding. If he has Ace King, which seems pretty fucking unlikely, then tough shit for us. Really don't want to face like a massive turn bomb. Oh, now I don't. Oh, now I do mind, because now we have a straight, but it's a shit one. Does he really just have like Ace Queen? Can I fold the second nuts? 2 straight videos. Ace Queen, Ace Jack, Ace 10. I guess we can. I guess we can. Doesn't feel good though. As soon as it goes pot on that board, I don't think they're doing a lot of bluffing. Could be wrong, but I don't think they are. We would have taken a jam from ball in there. And barrel the ace king because we do have the backdoor diamonds this time. In a spot like this, if I'm going to like c-bet ace king, which I don't very often, it will be when I have a diamond. I wouldn't c-bet like ace king of clubs here, for example. Call 1C with 9-10. Not looking to play a big pot though. No, we might be. Question here is, do I want to risk a free card coming in the hope that we can check raise bowling? That's the big question. Or do we just want to bet and get value from an ace? I think we'll go with the bet and just get value from an ace. Which we unfortunately do not get, but I think it was a percentage play there when someone leads out in a multi-way pot and gets 3 callers on that board, I think you're entitled to think someone's got an ace. Turns out nobody did, but never mind. The games have kind of played like nitty live games tonight, haven't they? Not been an awful lot of 3-betting whatsoever. In fact, I'd say I've been the most active 3-better, which isn't something I can usually say. Here we go on table 1. See what nonsense is going on there. King, Jack and 9-10. Interesting. I think like possibly the worst player's got the money out of the two. It's a little bit disappointing that it's 2 hard direct left. Even though he got it in with 9-10 in the end, I still think overall he was slightly better than this guy. But that is a little bit like saying that, I don't know, Leyton Orient are slightly better than fucking Newport County, being that they're both shit. Apologies to any Leyton Orient or Newport County fans out there. Not a good flop for me to want to c-bet against Ballin. Tempted to 3-bet bluff on table 4, but because of his stack size, I don't think he's going to be big into folding. So we won't. call with the ace-7 suited against this guy who looks like he might be bad. Could have 3-bet, but not huge fan of 3-betting versus potential fishes 4x opens. Again, don't think we get a bunch of folds. I think we get 4-bet a lot. Neither of which is that good for us. I'm going to float here because he potted it last time, didn't he? Let's see what happened on the turn. Pair up, so I'll see you at the river, sir. Wow, it's 960 on the river. So he's gone small, small, or smaller, smaller, big. Next time he makes a small bet, we're going to raise it because I'm at the moment forming an opinion that his snap big bet is strength. Now, we could have that completely wrong. His snap big bet could be weakness, but we're going to assume strength for now. And let's take it from there. We're getting run over this session in terms of being forced to fold a lot. We haven't made many hands, so what can we do? The players I'm keeping my eye on right now are this guy here bowling, this guy here. Both seem like relatively action players. He just keeps opening for 4x, so we can bear that in mind and adjust accordingly. See about here with that open ender and our backdoor flush draw. We don't raise here, I think we're going to get raised by some like pair plus draws and things. Which I think we can continue against. It's 10 suited. If we had more chips, I think we'd be able a pretty easy call here. As it is, don't let my kicker much. A fold. Not going to give this raise much credit, especially at that sizing. So we're going to call. You have a lot of bluffs in his range. If you had strong value hands, I think he'd be raising bigger to like for protection, etc. People just get scared on these boards. I'm going to call and like just continue to try and rep a hand like pocket queen to something like that. I'm not particularly worried about the diamond, given that we hold the nut diamond. To call here. If he's been bluffing with diamonds from the off, then I guess he gets to win. And happy with how that hand played out. Happy with my logic, happy with how I explained it. Happy. Just happy with that situation. Went with my read, didn't lose my nerve. And that, for me, shows the value of how my style works for me of working through hands. The flop was just thought, yeah, he's going to have quite a lot of bluffs on this board with that sizing. And then kind of the way the board ran out, I think he's going to enter the clip a lot there. And it's just, you've got to go with your instincts, go with your reads. You often hear the term like field player about the internet, which I think is a bit nonsense. You can't be a field player on the internet really, but you can be instinctive, and I think you just have to go with your instincts. And that I might be overplaying it there because it wasn't like the hardest folk. It wasn't the hardest call in the world. But given that we've folded the second nuts twice in a couple of recent videos, and then we've called there with like a hand that's a long way from the nuts, I'm quite happy with how it played out. I'm happy with my reasoning for folding the hand to folding and calling with that hand. What would you like to do if you mix a large bet here? Now this is where I might own myself, because sometimes some players will just have pocket queens here and just check call against bluffs, but I would definitely be bluffing my missed hearts here. So when we're bluffing out all our missed hearts, then we certainly need to be value betting with our top pair top kicker. And all of a sudden things are starting to go right from us. Out of nowhere we've got a nice big stack. We could maybe argue for calling Queen 9 versus Fred on table 3 there. I think I maybe snap folded a little bit too quickly. I'm going to open wideish against Bull King roll because he hasn't shown a great deal of aggression pre-flop yet. The one time he did show it, he had 2 queens. The one time that I've noticed anyway. Top set table 4. Hopefully we'll get some action. Multi-way pots, so there's a good chance we get some action. This guy's 4xing constantly. We not need to be doing something about it, but we need to be very aware of it, that we don't make any silly mistakes against him and becoming too passive or whatever. Bet and a call. No reason to slow play. Hands I would raise here would be flush draws, would be some straight draws, 2 pairs sets, so yeah. Make a nice healthy raise, just jam the turn. If we get called, set it up perfectly for a turn jam. I expect we'll probably get jammed on or get folds here a lot of the time. Obviously we prefer the former, but we get the latter. It's kind of unfortunate, but on that board texture we just have to raise. Right, this Fred's creating too much dead money with these 4x's. I'm going to look to 3-bet him wider for sure now. I mean, he's just 4xing it constantly. He's creating way too much dead money. I'm not going to 3-bet him like wider with bluffs, but I'm going to expand my value 3-betting range. Can't 3-bet bluff for the 8-7 versus this player because of stack sizes, so we just call because big blind looks to be a fish. I was check raising that flop. Sadly, he denied us the opportunity. Now I'm not going to check raise this turn. We are going to call. Last time he made it this size in this spot, he just had ace king. He just leads out full pot. I'm going to start by calling. Not much I'm going to be able to do on that turn card. Quite irritating, but we can't just start spewing against him just because he's irritating. He's got to wait, and he's sure to make a mistake sooner or later. And against these types of players, quite often that's all you can really do. You kind of wait for them to make a mistake, maybe start bringing some more slow plays into your strategy, and just like try and wait to use his aggression against him. Certainly going to race to isolate him here though. And again, we just don't flop anything. If the king was a heart, I would c-bet. Two wasn't a reasonable flush draw versus his check back. Snap called. I'm not going to bluff. I'm just weighing up whether I want to check call against him here. Will he have enough bluffs in his range? It would be like Queen, Jack, Jack 10, hearts. He hasn't bet a full pot. Wow, he had the 3 deuce. What a great bet. Not sure he knows it was a great bet, but don't I look the tit? I mean, against a good player, I would literally just doff my hat there and say that is a fantastic value bet. So he's clearly not a good player, so he can't say that. But you know, part of me likes it. Part of me likes the fact I called and lost there, just for the audacity of his value bet. If he was value betting, who fucking knows? Just double checking that we're not 3-betting this out of irritation, and we're not. We're just clearly way ahead of his range. He absolutely snap calls, and we do not get a particularly good board. Check call on this turn for sure. Oh, he just pots it. I was check calling the turn. What an interesting player. I mean, he's out of position against me and he's just completely fucking owning me. Completely, totally owning me. Despite my having position against him and despite him being not good. Gut shot, 2 overs, backdoor flush draw. I mean, I feel I'm going to felt him sooner or later, but I also feel that when I do, I'm just going to be winning all the money back that he's won of me so far. We need to get all of that, I think, to be able to get ahead of him, because he's pretty much owned me at every opportunity so far. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. I think 7s are probably good here on table. 4, if he bets, we're going to pay him off. Oh, it wasn't good because he was just checking back an 8 every street. Right, so he's isolated Euro. Right, what's going on here? Let's see what he does sizing wise. Right, so he's half potted it again. What's the Bulkster going to do? I mean, going by his last sizing, he probably just has a fucking 6 here or something. He's raised him. So let's see what happens when he bets half pot on. It falls to a raise. To betting half pot. Now that's not to say he's always going to do that, but it does tie in with his half pot bet with a deuce earlier. So it's half pot. We're going to start assuming his weakness. Or maybe not weak, but the lower end of his range. So we're going to work on that assumption for now. That half pot's the lower of his range, checks air and pots what he believes is strong. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be anything super nutted, but in his head, would be. I'm going to assume he's maybe the top of his range. Well, bye-bye sixes. Nice knowing you. I'll normally defend 5-4 off, but for obvious reasons, we will this time. And he leads out for half pot, so we're going to presume something worse than top pair. Still again, so I'm thinking Jack X here, 3X maybe some draws. And half pot again. That's what Boris called. That's what Boris to have called then to hopefully confirm or confound whatever sizing tell we think we might have. We have nothing here on table 1 except some backdoors. But we'll start by betting because they're good backdoors. No, we get called and completely miss. It's the simplest of give ups. 10-8 suited on the button. Normally I would 3-bet this hand. Just going to call. Don't believe he's going to fold. He checks. So I'm going to presume he's just very weak here. Bet anyway. Calls. I'm going to check by this river, check by this turn now, and I'm going to call most rivers at a king or an ace. I'm not in love with the jack, but probably going to call it anyway. See bet flop, check, see bet, sorry, opened pre, check call flop, check turn, bet river. He just, yeah, so he didn't have anything when he checked, but then he half pot the nuts there, or the virtual nuts. So he still continues to absolutely own me. And he really is pulling my pants down right now. He must have made a minimum of €30 for me, if not more. So again, I don't think he has anything here. He's checked the flop. So working on the assumption that he doesn't have very much. Now I'm going to check the turn because, well, it's hard to get caught by worse, I guess. And we're probably just going to pay him off again on the river. That's pretty much been our MO so far. Oh, this time he didn't have it, but used the sizing he's used in the past when he did have it. So I'm just as confused as I ever fucking was. Just want to play pot to this guy, don't we? Hope that Mr. Bulking doesn't squeeze us because It'd be annoying if he does, considering we put 4 blinds in. But ace-7 suited is way too strong to fold versus him. But I think with 3-bet, he's just going to fucking snap it anyway, so doesn't make a whole lot of sense to 3-bet versus him as a bluff. And I think it's too thin. Even though he's going to call with worse pre-flop, we're not going to realise all that equity, especially against someone who just like isn't scared, who just might mash in bets with all portions of his range. We're just going to create a bad situation for ourselves by 3-betting him right out of position. Bulking hasn't shown a great deal of enthusiasm for calling 3-bets, but clearly need to 3-bet the queens on table 2. A lot of my range wants to be checking this turn on table 2, so popping queens with a queen of diamonds in there seems like a nice hand to put in there as a incredibly solid hand to do it with too. I haven't seen Bulking get out of line yet, but I mean we clearly just can't fold. And we're just going to hope he doesn't absolutely smash this river. We were ahead the whole way. And now the table's going to die, so I feel bad because it's going to look like we're grooming him here, but we just have a standard button open and we're not grooming him. It's just like we're leaving because no desire to play a tight player. Heads up. Tables are starting to die, but there's not a chance I'm leaving while we've got this Fred with 35 euros in front of him. Especially as every fucking cent of it will be mine. Yeah. Because then we had a big stack at one table. It's not been... Wouldn't be the most profitable session I've ever had. I think we made a tiny bit of money. I think alleviating Fred of his 30 euros would constitute it being a good session before we quit for the night. It just feels like we're absolutely setting money on fire here by just calling, but 3-betting seems dumb, folding seems dumb, flopping second pair seems dumb, everything seems fucking dumb, checking doesn't seem dumb. Right, Boris has just given up. Boris doesn't have anything. Fred bets. I call. Fred checks. Too thin for value. We check 2. And he just says ace king. Okay. Not a good turn card for us, so we're just going to check back table 1. We're in a red one, jack, king, ace. He's checked again. I'm gonna hope he's not slipping, like if he's got like queen jack or something, he's slipping it to us. Then is he gonna make a very easy 480 from us here? Is he gonna have a 4 pocket 8s if we bet? I wouldn't if I was him. I was giving up. Well, he certainly wasn't folding pocket 3s. Well played, sir. Unlucky. Don't blame his line there. He needs to check the river. When I check back the turn, he should really be checking the river there because we're essentially just saying, look, we don't have anything. So there isn't really that much point in value betting from his perspective. He just needs to check and hope that we bluff with something. Even though he looks a little bit silly there for checking a full house on the river, I think it's fine. And I think I would have played the hand exactly the same as him. Bet straight here on the turn. Hope not to get raised, and then we'll bet the river too. Not that river though. There's not a river that we're going to be betting. Top pair against Freddie. Freddie calls, we turn trips. Freddie folds. Come on, Freddie. We don't want to be getting it in bits and pieces, sir. Right, so there's now not many tables at all running. We've got 29 players in the lobby. We're going to try and open another table, but I don't think it's going to work out too well. Which screen name do we need to be on? We need to be on Jeremy Corbyn tribute screen name, don't we? Sorry for politicising the video. I get told off when they do it. The screen name wasn't created for video, it's just one that I created this morning and just happened to be using it. Not going to say any more than that because whoever commented that we shouldn't be politicising videos was completely right, so I'm not going to do it. It's just the screen name's there. Please don't be offended by it or whatever. It just is what it is. If you're abroad and you don't know what JC for PM means, then just stick it in Twitter and you'll find out. Stick it in Google, you'll find out. Oh, Fred's down to 13. Please don't let us be the one that doubled him up again. Please don't let me be the one that doubles him. Please don't let me be the one that doubles him. That would be distressing. Bad enough if we're not the ones that felt him. But if we're the ones that double him and then some fucker else felt him, then that's double bad. Don't normally call 3 bets out of position with 10-8, but I do when someone makes a silly size in. So we flop a pretty strong draw here. Start by c-betting. If he raises, probably he's going to jam it in his eye. Fold. This is tempting to raise here. He shouldn't have too much 9x in his 3-betting range. If he's got an overpair, does he ever fold it? It's made such a big bet I don't want to call. He's put me in like a raise or fold situation. I just don't think. The thing is, they go for the check raise here thinking someone might fold aces. They never do. There's a black one on the flop. I think I would go for it, but there isn't a black one there, so we're just going to make a tight lay down. With a smaller sizing, I would have gone for it, but he didn't make a smaller sizing. He's 3-bet me pre-flop small. He bombed a wet c-bet. So he bombed c-bet a wet flop. And I go for those spots so often thinking, you know, I'm going to put pressure on, whatever. And they just don't turn up with ace-king very often, and they do turn up with pocket aces very often. And they don't fold it. Which isn't a good situation for us, of course. The Hawks are circling round Fred. We flop a top pair with Fred in the pot. I wouldn't mind seeing Fred just pot it there. I could have gone on board with that. I'm going to c-bet here because these guys shouldn't expect me to be bluffing with Fred in the pot. So we're kind of almost over-ripping our hand here against these two. I kind of want these two to fuck off and just hopefully Fred just does what Fred wants to do. Once Boris calls, I'm done with it really, in terms of value betting. Put a check down here. Hard to get called by worse. He can have King Queen and take this kind of line. Ace Jack and take this kind of line. Not too many worse hands I can call really. 6-5 suited. That could have been the hand that I think he could have considered bluffing with in the river there. I check back. Really do cap my range on that board. So yeah, I don't think I played particularly well this session, to be honest with you. I think we've won the big pots we were meant to win. We've won a flip. Got run over by Fred. I'm not going to play badly. I don't think I've made any major mistakes, but no, I don't think I played badly at all. I think I played okay. Just we haven't had many good situations, I guess. Guess that's how we would rate the show so far. We had one decent bluff catch, I think. We made 2 or 3 bad bluff catches against Fred. Hope Andyman doesn't pot here. If he doesn't pot, we're going to call. If he does pot, we're going to have to think about things. Checks, which is just fine by me. Cause it doesn't. I thought he'd check, sorry, but I must have been seeing things. Not in love with it. Going to fold this river if he bets again. Called in 2 spots with top pair weak kicker. I'm just going to fold this river. Don't expect him to have like too many big hearts. In fact, it's tempting to bluff because like yeah, we're going to go for it because it doesn't look like, I don't see how he has the king of hearts. Like wants to bet this. I would. What king of hearts bets the flop is king. Surely 3 bets pre-flop. Yeah. Not sure I like that bluff, but it worked, so we'll take it. But that's not a reason to like a bluff, of course. But kind of, he's repping like a decent flush when he bets a river. But like, what decent flushes can he have that he's going to bet there? Straight here. I was going to raise a river, but we're not going to raise versus that size. We're just going to call and probably chop, hope not to lose. King Queen suited. I think we can 3-bet this small for value against Fred. Hope he doesn't 4-bet because that would be quite distressing because I wouldn't want to get 17 euros in pre-flop with King Queen of Spades. Bulking's definitely adjusting to the fact that Fred's at the table. He doesn't strike me as sort of person who typically calls 3-bets. Fred's back just doing his thing. Please fold bulk. We do not need bulk stacking Fred. Oh, bulk's going to stack Fred, isn't he? The bulk's is going to... Oh, wow, he just had nothing as well. Oh, Fred, how many times have we folded to your fucking stupid pot-sized donks? Turns out you were fucking bluffing all along with them. Never mind. And the problem is now, unless he turned up on that screen name some other day, the information we paid for we've just been thrown up and screwed up and thrown away. But it seems like a good time to end the video now, because are we going to end the video? Let's have a look on the tables actually before we make any hasty decisions. I mean, I'm in no rush to stop playing, but do we have good enough tables? We have good enough hands on table 1. Nope. Do not be fucking me around. Put my 3-bit in and it looks like the software's froze. Oh, it's disconnected me. Now it's going to mash it. It was slightly bigger than I wanted it to be. But don't have an awful lot of choice when it almost is going to time out. Bollocks. Well, my internet's running fine, so I'm not really sure why. All of a sudden it looks like we're almost timing out everywhere, and that's till the disconnect thing come up. I think we'll just call it a session actually. We've put a good hour and a half in nearly. Next be blind all tables. That seems reasonable to me this time of night on a Saturday night. I've got a cup of sheet at 1, 2 tables, bulking roll at just about every table. This Boris guy. Yeah. Seems like a reasonable time to call it a night. And we've made a buy-in. Bad looks of things unless something goes horribly wrong. So we'll take it. We ran well in winning a flip. We didn't adjust quickly enough, or we didn't give back. We didn't really have the opportunity to adjust quickly enough against Fred, because we never got to fucking showdown with him against those massive bets. The first time we caught him out with it, with a massive bet, we didn't catch him up. But the first time we saw him getting caught out with it, he was bluffing, which makes me think we should certainly have called. Did we make a straight against him at some point? I can't remember. But yeah, it feels like we could have made one call against him, I think. But never mind. Easy game in hindsight, isn't it? Not such an easy game in the moment. Top pair here. Pair boards, my c-bets are usually pretty small with my entire range. Not my entire range. If I just had an air ball here, we wouldn't bet at all. But when I am betting these paired boards, I'm never using a big sizing. So that's the last hand on that table gone. We've got one more hand. Oh, I just received €5 cash. What was that for? Oh, filled in my little yellow circle. Filled in my little yellow circle. One nice way to end the video. It's an extra €5 cash off Unibet. Which means the session as a whole finished up, I don't know, what was it? 30 something euros. Happy days. Right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to add your comments. And yeah, we're back with another one, hopefully quite soon, because I'm enjoying making videos. Bye bye for now.